So I did in fact forget to record an opening to this video, so I guess you're gonna have to see a little bit of animated me for a few minutes before the video properly starts. So today I am making a Selkie dress, or a reproduction of a Selkie dress. Back in November, I saw this one candy stripe dress that they posted on Instagram, and I kept seeing it all over the place. This very princessy holiday gown, and I had to have it. And when I went to the website to see how much the dress might cost, I was less than happy about the $700 price tag on this dress. So I was kind of sad about it for a little while, but then I remembered, oh yeah, I know how to sew, so why not make it myself? And so you can follow along with me during this video and see exactly how I tackled this project of making a very stylish silky dress on a budget. This dress wound up being a mashup of a bunch of different patterns that I had in storage. Starting with the bodice, which is a McCall's 7339 corset pattern that I shortened in the waist to match the silhouette of the original dress. The main candy stripe fabric I bought for this project was a $2 a yard cotton from Joann's, and I bought about 7 yards of it. It's not the exact style of stripes seen in the original Selkie dress, but it was the most affordable option, so I went with it. The lining of the bodice, which you'll see later, was close to 1 yard of a matte satin that I picked up from the remnant section. After a little attempt at some editing magic, it's time to iron the seams. You want to iron it until the seams on the inside look like pieces of bacon or really flat candy canes. This step is especially important for a corset since I'm using the seams as my boning channels here, which isn't exactly the proper method, but it's still always important to have the insides of a bodice be pressed nicely. Now, looking back on this, I probably should have used a heavier duty zip tie for support, but yes, I'm using the zip tie corset boning hack. I did not come up with this is definitely not a new method. But I had some zip ties left over, so I thought I'd try this way to see how it holds up. So I already have the lining, which you can see here. Basically just the same as the bodice, but it's like a matte satin, and then it's got some interfacing on the inside layers. I still have to very gently press the seams open on this and make it look all nice, but next step is going to be sewing this to this. So now that all of these are pressed, and also quick note, if you are ironing satin like this, you just want to be really careful and make sure to have it on a relatively low heat setting, so that way you don't wind up accidentally damaging it. But now that we have these nice pieces, just want to stitch them together, putting them right sides together and sewing along the upper edges. After putting all the boning in, it was time to attach the lining layer and cut away the extra lining to be even with the outer layer. Alright, so I got the lining for the palm cups done, and you can see here I kind of deviated from the pattern because what I wound up doing, instead of getting the foam that it asks for, I just wound up taking apart an old bra that doesn't really fit anymore, or doesn't fit as well as I would like anymore, and just using the cuts from that. So you can see we've got what the inner lining is going to look like. That's going to be facing towards me on the inside, and then I'll just be tacking on the bra cup, kind of like you would for shoulder pads on a jacket or on a blazer. So that's that. And then the next step is going to be cutting out the outer fabric that goes to the bra section. And then once that's all together, then that's pretty much the corset, aside from trying to put in the zipper and making sure that it actually fits really well. I was debating on whether or not I wanted to do an actual like grommeted corset for this project, and I don't currently have a kit, and I know they can be expensive, and the whole point for this project was to kind of keep it as budget friendly as possible and also kind of beginner friendly. I have made like one corset in the past where I have actually like done embroidered eyelets and then just used ribbon run through those, but that would also be very time inefficient, and as of today it is the 10th of December, which means that I only have 2 more weeks until Christmas to get this done, and I'm just now getting through corsets, so it may be a close call here. So if I did decide I wanted to do the grommeted corset, I would have to really just get into it as soon as I possibly can. I'm not sure right now if that's what I want to do, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see how the dress turns out by the end of the video. But yeah. Now I'm just sewing the outer cup, and yeah, this sewing machine is going to change the locations later in the video, so watch out for that. Here's me tacking the bra cup to the lining fabric. And off screen I sewed the lining and outer cup pieces together and attached them to the bodice. So after doing an initial try on, that's what she looks like right now. The waist is definitely a bit too small and the bust is a bit too big. So what I'm going to do, I think, is add an extension panel onto the back and then add the zipper to that and see if that works. And then I'll have to see what I do about the measurements after that. But first, I want to make sure that it fits nice and snug around the waist before I do anything else. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Now we can get to the fun part, which is adding all the ruffles and lace. I took the shoulder ruffle pattern piece from this dress and altered it so that it's high-low, like the original, and then just made a shorter layer to stack on top of the first. This is Mabel, by the way. Then it was time to add lots and lots of lace trim, and there was a bit of a mishap with this trim. So I ordered 3 rolls of this Wyla lace from Joann's online, and they wound up only sending me 2, and just not telling me the other was cancelled. This order also took nearly 2 weeks to get here, so by that time it was too late to order another roll on time and in time for Christmas. So I had to improvise. I went to my closest Joann's and picked up a roll of Wyla white lace that wasn't an exact match, but it's close. It's only on one of the sleeves and it's barely noticeable, but if you're looking at it you can tell. Here I'm sewing bias tape to the upper edge of the ruffle, and this is going to be my channel to insert the elastic into. I kind of just figured out how much elastic I needed based on wrapping it around my shoulders and seeing how much stretch felt right, then cutting it into 2 pieces. I fed the elastic through the channel using a safety pin and prayed that the gathered ruffle would look pretty. Now for the sleeves. These sleeves are very interesting in that they're a puff that turns into a bell, then turns into another puff, then turns into another bell. So they're kinda 2 sleeves in one. I used a puff sleeve pattern as a base, then cut a small strip, then an improvised curved pattern for the bell shape. Here's a sneak peek of what it looked like at this point. For the lower sleeve, the shapes were a lot simpler, just 2 rectangles of pretty much equal length with another strip of fabric in between. But I set the rest of the sleeve aside and switched gears to the skirt. The skirt is made up of a rectangular skirt pattern, a ruffle, and a high-low skirt pattern. I didn't get footage of the main skirt, unfortunately, but it came from this pattern. So it's been about a week, 12 days, I think, since the last time that I worked on this project, because I had to take care of some homemade Christmas gifts, because I can't not do multiple projects at once, and this got set back. And so now it is December 20th, so yeah. Christmas is less than a week away, and I still have to finish the bodice, the other half of the bodice, and put the skirts together. The skirts shouldn't be too bad because the main pattern I'm using, the Simplicity pattern, is just a bunch of rectangles. So it's just going to be a matter of sewing and gathering those, and then the overskirt is a McCall's pattern for a high-low skirt. I think the original dress has 2 high-low overskirt layers, but I think I'm only going to be doing 1, both for time and because I don't think I have enough fabric left to do both layers. But I'm hoping that it's still going to be very pretty and have a lot of volume and be a very fun skirt to put together. So yeah, the next few days are just going to be me putting it together. I may put in like a sewing montage here, or I may just cut to show like what the finished product looks like and kind of go over what I did to make it. But yeah, so I guess Merry Christmas, guys. Oh, I think I'm gonna make it. Fingers crossed. A lot of my trim yardage went towards the skirt. 4 yards in total, and it's so worth it in the end. With all the trim attached, I could sew the 2 skirt layers together and get back to finishing the sleeves. The final details were attaching all of the bows by hand. And fun fact, the bow that's on the front of my dress was actually ribbon that was wrapped around the first Christmas present I received from my boyfriend. So it's extra special to me. With the final sleeve put together, it's time for the reveal. I immediately took the wig off as soon as I got upstairs. And honestly, these are better waves I could get in my hair than hours of actually trying to prep wavy hair. So, wig caps, everybody. So, time to wrap up. Overall, I really love how this dress turned out. I think she's really pretty, and I feel very pretty wearing her, and she's not uncomfortable, which was my number one concern with using cheaper materials to make a dress, but she holds up just fine. I'd say I like 90% of it. Cups are still a bit big, but honestly that kind of happens with most dresses that I wear. I still haven't completely gotten down doing busts correctly, which is something I'll need to work on. I probably already touched on this earlier in the video with voiceover, but the lace on the sleeves are two different laces because Joann's never sent me the third spool of lace that I initially ordered, and I didn't find out until the 18th or 19th. It was one of those days, but it's way too close to Christmas to actually find any more because apparently there was no more of this lace in the entire state, and I didn't have time to wait another potentially 20 days for Joann's to get around to maybe giving me the rest of the lace. So, I mean, from a distance you can't really tell that they're all that different, which is nice. They also did not, I didn't get enough ribbon, because I know, like in the initial Selkie dress, there's ribbon down here too, but I didn't realize how little ribbon was actually on the spool until I ran out of it. So, lesson learned there. I think in the initial dress, there's also more ruffle and more lace layers on the skirt. And if I had more money and more time, I probably would have gotten more fabric to make like the skirt even poofier, more ruffly, more of everything. But for being a $55 recreation of a $700 dress, I'm very happy with how it looks. Like, the structure in the bodice is super nice. I'm so proud of finally being able to do one of these types of like ruffle slash Bertha adjacent things, because I've never been able to figure this one out before. The sleeves, I love the sleeves. They're very flouncy. I love the skirt. Like, overall, I think that this was a benchmark project for me in terms of my sewing skills, and I'm very proud of what I've been able to accomplish in such a short amount of time. And I really hope that you guys liked it too, because this was definitely like a small passion project to try to make one of these types of dresses that normally I wouldn't have the ability to wear because I'm broke. But if you liked that and you would like me to make more videos, I know I want to do possibly another cosplay related video during the year, because my planned 2025 cosplay build is Iron Mouse's 2023 birthday model. So if you like that and maybe would like to see that progress as well, please subscribe, hit the like, all that YouTube good stuff. I also have a Kofi that is linked somewhere in my bio. You can find it on my socials. If you would like to support me and help me make more of these types of projects. It's been a lot this year trying to start out being a content creator. It's something that I've wanted to do for a long time, and I'm really proud of myself, and I hope that if you've made things this year, if you've sewn a costume or a dress or anything, or if you've done art of some kind, or whatever cool benchmark milestone thing that you've done this year, I hope that you are proud of yourself too, because it takes a lot to keep going in this day and age. So thank you again for watching. If you've watched this all the way through, I really appreciate it. And yeah, I guess with that, I will see you guys in 2025. Bye.